So if it drives around, maybe people can see it, they'll feel like they're represented, and that people are starting to get to know their culture a little bit. We just want to try to spread some knowledge and love all around the place.
It's humbling too. You're like, wow, I'm just one person. Can I really have a difference, and can my art really be a voice for a community, and also speak volumes to people about how important it is to have Asian representation and hip representation.
I hope that this project or this artwork makes us whoever received this project, and that they are proud of their heritage, and that they are proud of their mom and their story.
Sometimes easy to hide or assimilate in American culture, in the dominant culture, and so the more that we can see people being proud of who they are and their heritage, I think is really inspiring.
Okay, so basically it all started from Lunar's New Year's in 2023 when they had that Monterey Park shooting. And Monterey Park is right next to my hometown, Montebello, California. And I saw a newsletter come out through county how they're saying that they're saddened and honor the victims and this and that. And President Biden asked for all agencies and businesses to have the flag at half staff, and I noticed ours was not at half staff. So I wrote back to I think it was Michelle, kind of upset. And I was like, hey, our flags are not at half staff. We need to lower them. And it got done eventually. And she asked if there's anything else that we could do. And I said, yeah, how about a bus wrap for the Asian American Native Hawaiian Pasifika community? Where's our bus? And she's like, that's a good idea. Let me get back with you. So here we are today. Pretty amazing. I still haven't really wrapped my head around it, that my design got digitized and is gonna be floating around, driving around on a 60-foot billboard. It's pretty exciting. It's a little bit about my family background. On the left front of the bus, it has the Polynesians paddling, finding the Hawaiian Islands, and I put that there because my father's side is all from Hawaii. They are all born and raised on the Big Island of Hawaii. The left rear, which is the Japanese American side, primarily from my mother's side. Well, my father is Japanese American as well. But I have the most decorated units in all of World War II history, and I think it's even current to this day, which is the 442nd and the 100th Battalion. Those two units were created for the Japanese Americans to prove for their loyalty to the country during World War II. So I have relatives that were in that unit in the 442nd. One got a Purple Heart, one was KIA. And it's also, I have the internment camps where my mom's whole side of the family was during World War II. They were relocated to these camps, stripped of their rights, and forced to live there. So I have that also depicted in the photo, as well as the Space Shuttle Challenger, which was from Ellison Onizuka, who passed away on the STS-51L disaster in 1986. He was the first Japanese American into space, but not on this flight, but it's for him also. The right front is for the Chinese Americans that worked so hard in this country, helped build the transcontinental railroads. My wife is Chinese American. And it's also, I have in there a little star with 91754 to remember the people of Monterey Park. And the last one, the right rear panel, was originally I had a different design, but I was asked to change it and make it more of my story and what things mean to me. So I have my mom and dad's initials on there, my wife's and my daughter. Got our 4 cats, and then I love music. I used to DJ back in the day. I still play around with it. I don't do any gigs, but I do it just for fun and creativity. So I have my turntables up there, and I'm dressed up in my Metro uniform as a mechanic.
We have narrowed down on moms. We want to celebrate mothers, and so I wanted these mothers to be honored in that way. And so we talked about having each of the elements behind and around the moms to represent their person, their strength, their resilience. And so this symbolism sort of evolved and took over the artwork. My mom doesn't live here, she lives in Oklahoma. I feel for her, no one have ever celebrated her or her success, her strength. What what a life that she's had. And she's not alone. There are so many other women who are similar to her who've not been celebrated and have no representation of what, like, my mom thinks it's normal to work 13-hour days, 7 days a week. That's not normal. And so someone needs to talk about that and bring out all of these awesome people who exist among us. And this, in our projects, we only did 4 mothers, and all of them have crazy, amazing stories and very resilient stories, but we don't think of that. So I feel like bringing out these stories make you appreciate who you're around. And I got closer to my colleague who shared stories about their moms, and I just couldn't believe some of the things that these mothers went through.
I think just in more of a white dominant patriarchal society that these stories are really hidden, and just the oppression that women face, and American Asian women. That ties to what Lynn was saying around just the stories get lost, or the internalized oppression that make them feel that their value is lower than others. And so to really kind of lift up their stories and to share it back to them and see and show that their stories are really powerful and that they have a big impact on not only their children, but Metro and King County is really a special opportunity that we were able to give. And if we could have interviewed a bunch of other mothers, that would be really awesome too.
Super exciting. It feels fantastic to be even affiliated with the project. It's such an honor. With Metro, we always, try to promote equity, racial and social justice. And, just it's so awesome to have ERG Infinity groups here at Metro. So just to see this project come into, from just a concerning moment in history, right? With where, you have these victims, and then to kind of turn into a positivity to say, hey, we're not going to let that stop us from continuing to show positivity and have a positive representation of all our communities, because the ANHIP Asian, groups have a huge diaspora, and so we really need to represent that in our community. So it's just been so cool to see this come into fruition. Wow, how do I represent an ANHIP diaspora that's so vast, different Native Hawaiian, from Native Hawaiian to Pacific communities to American Asian communities? How do I encapsulate that in one art piece? And so I was like, well, all of us even though we're all different countries, we have amazing national landmarks that we're all proud of. We have amazing cloth patterns, to different types of patterns are known from our culture. And then of course we have all the beautiful cultural delicious foods. And so I just focused kind of on those 3 items to create my artwork. So I grabbed a lot of Google images, and then I was like, well, how do I encapsulate that into kind of one mosaic? And I was like, dragons are kind of a strong icon for ANHIP representation, but that's kind of very common. So I was like, maybe it could be koi fish scales. So from there, I just used that and, intersperse all these different patterns from those 3 themes onto fish/dragon scales. And then that kind of made an overarching piece of, representing the diaspora of ANHIP communities. My family immigrated to the U.S. when I was 3 years old, and my father immediately wanted us to be assimilated, right, as Americans. So he had my elementary school teachers and principal rename myself and my 2 siblings with English names. So I grew up, known as Liz for the first 25 years of my life. So I didn't even know really, it kind of automatically from my name, I was separated from my Asian heritage, from my culture. And so I had to reclaim that. So that's why I went back to using my current name, which is my birth name, Wan Lin. Very proud of it. And so that's why it's so important to have this kind of representation. I want folks to be able to ride transit, see the ANHIP bus traveling through their communities, have that sense of pride in their heritage and culture, just like I do now, which I had to rediscover. And also when they're waiting for the bus at the bus shelters. I mean, it's just so exciting and so cool to, be able to, really represent and see that representation out there.